preparing the situation. So just a second. So as I said, there is a guest today. And I'm writing him now. My phone probably is not connected. Okay.
So how are these first days going?
Yeah, good. It's a nice experience. You have to do it.
Yeah, maybe in a couple, definitely in a couple, at least some time. It will take some time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. You don't have to do it right here and now. I mean, it's something you.
Yeah, of course.
You have to do it because it's
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really.
it's an experience that you recommend. Yeah, that.
Yeah, I think it's an experience that make you a lot of challenge for sure. Because you challenge with yourself.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, you challenge also in the way like
Yeah.
When you watch Throw the Baby, it's like you watched Throw yourself when you was a baby.
Nice, but I mean, this is not even started, man. It will become harder.
Yeah, but when you have
but it will be.
Apple petal.
Look at her, beautiful.
It's
nice, man.
It's like you won't always stay there.
Yeah.
So in the moment we wait, Jake come. I have also prepared some stuff. So slowly I'm preparing some stuff every time during the week that I can share with you. Yeah, so I have to close some windows because otherwise I get crazy.
Yeah, I really hope to don't.
And Andrea is
problem today. For now.
So Andrea is starting to lag like we like. So first of all, I wanted to know if you did some pictures, some continuous of your picture.
No, I didn't. I tried to macro, but somehow it failed.
So I talked about you in a podcast.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
About who?
About you.
Why?
Because I talked with the macro photographer. She has around 200,000 followers. Okay. And we talked about macro photography, and I talked about you.
Which one is that? Which podcast? Which episode? There are so many I can't follow.
Yeah, it's I think the last is. Let me check. Because I didn't upload the rest, but I did more than what I upload. Just
more.
It's the number 100.
You're a fucking furnace, man.
100 in what time? 2 months?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Shit.
But I did more than 100. Did more than 100 in 1 month, in 2 months. I tell you how many.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
Imagine also stopped a bit. So actually in the
I will click change connection to my hotspot because this connection is shit.
So
okay, already changed.
I did 111 exactly.
Okay. That's impressive.
But yeah, it's coming more. I have many other. I have appointment until January 2022.
Until the end of time.
Yeah. So I don't know what the Jake is doing. Let me check.
So what's the name of the macro photographer or in the podcast?
is Marit van Ekelenburg.
Marita, is she Dutch?
Yeah, she's Dutch.
Okay.
Whoa, what the fuck? What you have, the researcher in your mind?
What?
What,
No, I'm looking for it.
okay. It's the last photographer. It's there.
Ah, Marita van Ekelenburg, 28 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Marit.
Yeah, it's every 50 minutes of experience. I think I did just one episode this 50 minutes for real. It's really difficult to talk in only 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know from work. Yeah.
Especially with someone that you didn't know before.
But so a second. So,
It's like,
Andrea, you did some picture.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
So if you want to share.
Sure. Sharing screen. Here it goes. Sharing. Okay, can you see it?
What happens at my screen? Ah.
So
Zoom is such a fucked program.
Start to select this picture because I like a lot.
Okay, yeah, but these are already like selected.
Okay.
So it's, yeah. This was like for the out of focus stuff.
So how did you find this exercise?
I mean, at the beginning, it was quite strange because, I mean, I really need to, because I also, most of the time, I didn't use a zoom lens, but a prime lens. So I had to be really close to the people. So I was feeling like following someone. It was weird at the beginning, but after it feels like, no, it was interesting. I mean, also sometimes maybe I also want to try with the zoom because, for example, here I would love to take more like just the texture, but I should have been like 30, 50 centimeter behind him, and that was too much. So, but yeah, but it was interesting. So I think also it's the people you were talking about is connecting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's.
Yeah, to continue that, and then I talk later about Jake. Hey, Jake, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey,
perfect.
hi.
Yeah. Hey.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
So we are watching the work of this week of Andrea, and then I will introduce a bit of you, and then we talk with you. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andrea, go on.
Now I feel like. Okay.
But I think, yeah, this exercise in a way started to be interesting. Yeah, also these clothes really close, no?
Yeah, super close. I mean,
started to be also a way to let you be better, also understanding how to do it more than what you do it usually. And also this exercise of unfocus to let you more get in touch emotionally with your picture than to searching a structure that represents something for you or is already there. No, to just start to insert inside of your mind some new solution.
Yeah, definitely. It give you a different kind of approach doing stuff that usually they usually don't do, of course.
Yeah, this is so cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, if someone watch like my picture, I feel like a weird following people. Like definitely like.
But if now we watched your picture of when you started this class, and now there is a totally another level.
It's nice to hear. It's like.
I mean, I think Sebastian can say that, no? That if you watch the picture of the past of Andrea and the picture of now, so it's also like he's much more focused, much more straight to the point. In a way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I remember the 1,000 shooting what was 2,000 picture in like
Yeah.
30 minutes, 85 minutes. Yeah.
But also these things that you was shooting always in landscape mode, and now you're shooting in vertical. After I said to you,
Yeah.
vertical,
Yeah. That's true.
you are much more focused on what you want to take. Because in a way, it's like you have less space.
Mm.
So then it's more, the subject is there. And what is nice now, it's that you learned that how to center it in a way, your subject, how to keep focus on your subject. Now you can work also again in landscape.
Yeah, to increase the again.
To give more details or more frames sometimes to the picture. So it's cool. It's cool that there are 3 subjects read in the same picture, the picture before.
Yeah.
More than 3. And it's really cool that. Cool.
And that's it.
Okay, so as you know, send this picture to me on Drive, then I can next week we continue your book and we insert some of this picture inside. I think there are some fit good. So I want to so today I invited Jake, that first of all, it's a photographer I followed from a couple of years, probably 3 years. So I started the project before to doing BerlinExplorer. I was doing another project, was called Cactus Dine, and I was already following him. And we are doing a work together. We are trying to doing a public edition of the work of him, and I said today, okay, so if you have sometimes at 8 o'clock, I will invite you as guest to talk about your work, because probably it's also a good way to relate to someone like him that is following some kind of subject, sometimes some kind of particular topic, always really constantly. So and this is what I really like of the work of him, is there is also an idea behind. So this idea is, there is an evolution of this idea, and this idea, so it's more conscious, the work, than unconscious. So it's unconscious for sure, the way that start, but then this also structured in a way in base of what is him figure as a person. So you can talk for yourself, Jake. and present a bit of yourself. And in the meantime, I share the screen and I show a bit of your work. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So hi, I'm Jake. I'm running a project I call West Garot. It literally means West City in Russian, well, Russian and English. The project is about how people move around in a city in comparison to how the people that design our cities, the architects and the designers, how they have no idea the difference in the relationship between the people and the buildings. So I'm always trying to photograph this relationship between the two people. The project started with this concept of what are the stereotypes of cities and people that live within them. So I just started photographing what stereotypes cities have, and a lot of things are trash on the side of the streets, graffiti, you know, the kinds of things you'll find in an urban space rather than a rural space. But I quickly started to discover that a lot of the things that I was seeing are reoccurring and constantly reoccurring, way more than I thought was possible, even for a stereotype. So I started to document them and make categories for each things that were occurring. So it's a constant research as to how people move and redesign the spaces that they're given to them by the so-called designers and architects. Yeah, that's kind of the fundamental idea of what I'm trying to capture. This appropriation of space, I guess, is what I'm trying to do, and it's always evolving. I don't have a 100% idea how this will go on. It's a constant research. I eventually want to find out why people act a certain way in a city, and then also hopefully teach people, the designers, that how they design cities is not successful, and also show people how they act in cities, because I think we behave in a city space sometimes, and maybe it's not a good way, or maybe it is a good way, I don't know, but I want to make us all aware of decisions within an urban space.
So I think it's really nice, the work of Jake, and in a way it's really close to our realities, because in Berlin we have a lot of that kind of situation they are in front of us. And today exactly I was talking with another photographer in a podcast, and we was talking about the importance of how to show to the world images that usually don't let realize that something exists. And what I appreciate a lot of this work is, first of all, he used the street as it is, as he find, as something to capture and to insert in a way in a world of visual art or contemporary art, no? And to in a way also use the concept of post-production as not only the one we know is editing of photography, but post-production in contemporary art, that with something is in front of me, I can create something else. So then if this, for example, has a design itself, but included in this scene, take another value of design. And this, I think, it's really interesting because, as I said, when we shoot around Berlin, we have a lot of that stuff. We have a lot of these things, people live in the street. That's something really common here. And most of the time we don't pay attention of these things as as a visual part that we can collect as a, in a way, also art. But yeah, if you have some question for Jake, I think Jake can be related better to answer in a way.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for being here. Also, really nice work. And like one of the first things that obviously come to my mind is, why did you start to approach the city like this? I mean, most of the people, like if it goes street photography, most of the time the subject are more people than the location or the different street, you know. So we're just asking why you were so interested about photography the city, because, and also like this kind of design, and how you express like a correlation between the architecture and the city, and also the people that have to live inside here, because there's never people in your work.
No, yeah, that is an interesting question. Yeah, I guess the answer to it is, first of all, the little in-joke I made with myself when I was beginning to photograph for this project. I usually photograph with digital, completely different subjects, mostly architectural stuff. I just took my film camera and I was like, okay, I'm going to do a project roughly around the Corona period. And I just took the camera out and I was like, right, I'm gonna shoot something. And the joke that I made with myself was that some of these things look like a still life. You know, like so people went out into the street and then they dumped something, and then sometimes they were really elaborate. You know, there would be 10, 20 items piled up, or the bike. You know,
Yeah.
I love it.
It's
Someone made an effort to put that bike.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what the fuck?
I mean, was he creating art, or was he just trying to upset his neighbor? Like, I don't know. It also has a story behind it. That's fine. But yeah, I call them urban still lifes like this. You know, they kind of remind me of the old paintings of, you know, flowers or whatever people made still lives of. So I started collecting these kinds of photos. Every time I would see them, I would take the picture. And then I started asking myself, why do people do it? Why do people do the graffiti? Why do people do the leaving trolleys around or whatever it is? And I realized, well, there must be something wrong somewhere with the design of the city that lets people put these things there.
Yeah.
So somehow our city designers are failing us with this, how we act within the city space. So like this picture originally.
So you think people throwing out their stuff is a design failure of the city itself?
Yes.
Not a cultural thing, and it's related.
No, I don't think it's a cultural issue.
Okay. What can you give an example, an idea that you have about how a design failure would be related to such sort of things?
I guess in the city center, it's not easy to dispose of such items. And I guess this is a Dutch city. So a lot of people have bikes and a lot of people won't use cars. So mostly the city is pedestrianized. You want to throw out a dishwasher or a washing machine, as you can see. How are you going to move that?
You have it moved. You call a company that picks it up.
And not everyone has money to do that. That costs money.
It's $5, $10.
There are cities in the world where you have to pay to get rid of your trash, and you end up with a city full of trash bags.
Yeah, in Italy, for
example, it's design failure.
Costs a lot. In Italy, costs a lot. That you have to call the person to destroy. I mean, I don't know in Italy of North Italy, because Andrea is from North Italy, but in South Italy, it's really common that you see more washing machine in the street than in the properly placed, because as a cost, and it's sometimes cost also more than 200 euro. It's the same for the car. If you want to smash your car, you have to pay more than 500 euro in Italy.
Yeah, so you start seeing
okay. So the
people-
reason I'm asking all the time is I'm working as a washing machine developer, and our company picks them up for $10, and even the trashed washing machine, the guy who takes it and recycles it, it's the resources are around €5 inside one washing machine. So normally you can get rid of them quite easily. So I was always thinking people are just being lazy because this is the easiest way to get rid of it, to put it on the street.
I think
People just don't care.
I think this is also a possibility, but I don't think it will be the case for most people. There was an example actually from my hometown in England. We have a dump, we have a site you can go and take all of your items, whatever it is, and you won't have to pay a fine for anything, no matter how large it is. The things will be properly disposed of, and even has a recycling center for your old fridge or washing machine or whatever it is. So in the town itself, you don't see this. So where I'm from, I don't see these kinds of things on the street. Maybe I see other things, but I didn't document them, so I don't remember exactly what it was. I definitely don't remember seeing any washing machines on the city center street. I mean, that's insane. Because this is predominantly like city center or like the residential areas within a city center. Yeah, so in my hometown, so you have this, but I remember if you go outside the city, people dumped large items and old pieces of wood or whatever in a field in the middle of nowhere. And I think this is a bit different because in my town, you could get rid of everything and there was a place you could dispose of it. So actually, to go to this field, it would actually take more effort. It was further away from the dump. The dump was in the city center. So why would you go to a middle of a field and dump something when you can dump it for free in the city center? So that I never understood. I mean, that's not really part of this project, I guess, but that's one point I'm trying to make, I guess. Sometimes people will go out of their way to not be lazy, but to, for no reason, dump something where they shouldn't.
Yeah, but I think your work really has a value, and probably even more in the future, because now many companies are changing their processes to a circular economy, like leasing models and all the stuff. Maybe you won't, maybe you won't see something like this in 20 years anymore.
It's very possible. I mean, we had these kinds of things in the past. We had Ford in the US in the 1950s. And a little bit before, they got this concept. They were building cars so good that they weren't breaking down, and they were lasting for over 10 years, and people drove them. And they thought, oh, I don't need to buy a new car. So when they started first selling cars, they sold a ton of them, made a lot of money. But by the time the 50s came along, no one was buying cars anymore because the old ones worked, and they passed them down, or, you know, they gave it to their neighbor or whatever, you know, gave it to their son. So Ford realized that they kind of messed up and made the cars too good. So what they did is that they said, you could bring your old car in and we will give you a new one, but we'll take some of the money off. But what they actually did is they put a new body on the car and then sold you back your own car again.
Yeah.
Refurbished, not your exact car, but someone else's car that they took in. Refurbish it, clean up the engine, and the person will buy this car with a new body, and they open it up, looks like a brand new car. People aren't mechanics. Like, that's how they sold Ford for 20 years. You just brought in your old car and they put a new body on it.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, when did they stop doing it? Around what time?
Around the 60s, early 60s.
Okay.
So, and you want to talk also about the other project, Jake?
The
Mars Station.
Mars Station. Yeah, this one is a very old project, I guess. It's more an aesthetic, I guess, than an actual, like, I'm not trying to say something, I guess. It's more me trying to create a dystopian world with my camera. And yeah, we were talking about this the other week, this concept that, you know, if you're an illustrator or a painter or a filmmaker, you can create worlds using your head and, you know, start from nothing. You can start from a blank piece of paper. But a photographer has to use reality. So if I want to create a kind of a set design or something for a dystopian sci-fi movie or something like this, I have to use the real world. And it's kind of exciting to find locations and places in cities that are lived in and are, you know, a populated place, and try and take these photos that appear to be in all the movies we've seen, you know, like David Lynch or Blade Runner, or, you know, these kinds of things. But yeah, I can think the main point of this is to change the idea of what the city we're living in, and like change it to a different one, even though it's a city that we all know. You know, that was I think a bus station or a train station that just went by. And if you're from that city, you know what that is. But if you don't know it, it looks a bit more like, you know, it could be a destroyed city on another planet or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of a strange project, I guess.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's,
talk, don't worry.
no, I would say that. I mean, it's super cool from what I see, and they definitely pass that. Yeah, it definitely have this sense of it seems like an abandoned city, like Fallout style, or I don't know, like this kind of. So it's really cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, I really like it too.
Yeah, me too.
I could imagine those scenes in a David Lynch movie or something.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
this one. Put some sound behind it.
Yeah, exactly. I just love the concept of like, I was an illustrator before I was a photographer, and I love to create my own worlds, you know. And then I got stuck when I turned into a photographer, because I wanted to do this more, but then I realized, oh, I have to use the real world, you know. How do I turn the real world into a dream world?
Dream, yeah.
That was prepared.
So yeah, but this Instagram, I guess, is a bit of a mix of everything. I do chuck everything in there. It's not as organized. That's kind of why I set aside Weskerod. But essentially, most of the most recent stuff on this one is this concept. And they're pictures taken from all over the world, I think, or mostly Europe, at least.
Yeah, for sure. As yeah, when we will do it, an editing of this will come out something much more direct to what you want to say. But yeah, most of the picture, most of them, they say clearly. They communicate this clearly, this message of this dystopian world.
Yeah, it's like building my own city. There's cities everywhere.
Well, it's really difficult to find a place where there is no one, and for you, it's kind of really easy.
Can I also like ask you like more a technical matter, because you basically have a lot also of landscape, if you want, like landscape or sort of landscape. I mean, and how do you construct the image? I mean, because like it is great, and most of the time for me it's quite hard. The more stuff you have, is the harder it gets to compose the picture. But sometimes you have a lot of white spaces and stuff. So I was just asking if you have, what is your approach with that? Also, because if you have a people, for example, if you do street photography, it's quite easier. You know, you have your subject, that's your subject. But we have like a city like this, it's harder to have a subject, a defined subject. you have to define your subject. So it's, I think it's harder. So I was just wanted to ask, how do you approach this? And yeah, you can get some insight.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I always sort of get the sort of vision from like movies and paintings and this sort of stuff. And when I see it, I guess I see it. I'm not really sure. I guess I look for it in a very like architectural way, and a kind of design perspective as well. I don't know. I just see stuff, and I think if it reminds me of something I saw in a movie or something like this, then I take it.
You're looking more for like a cinematography lookalike, something like.
Yeah, something like this.
Because I mean, every picture is fucking great. I mean, it's also the line and how they are structured. They're really cool.
Yeah, thanks. This was yeah, we're really going really far back now, but yeah, I think this is at this point I don't think I had a direction. Yeah, if you see at the top of the Instagram, you see that there's really a theme, and I really had my thoughts together. This was when I first moved to the Netherlands, actually, and yeah, well, some of these pictures are in England, but I was living in the Netherlands when I was composing these shots, and I didn't have any direction yet. So I was just taking pictures that I liked, and this is me just posting pictures that I think, oh, this is kind of cool. This is kind of sci-fi-y, or this is kind of architectural. There's a nice shape here, but I didn't have a so-called direction yet.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think it's really cool. And I think, yeah, this kind of work also probably it's more close to the Sebastian one, no, sir? Do you think?
What? Close to what?
Close to some of picture you do it usually in the street.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we got to the portraits already.
This was the first one.
I think here it was more the work he was doing in the beginning,
Yeah, that's what I mean. At this point, it was just a mess. It was me taking pictures of people, taking pictures of buildings, taking pictures of
of everything.
That's why I started to separate everything. It got too silly.
He was in the beginning, we can see, in that moment of portrait, and yeah, was less focused on the concept, but more on just capturing everything to try, we can say. What I want to do it. So I want to show you the work. So did you see the work of Andrea a bit? The last work of Andrea. I show you what we were composing for him. So with some of the picture of him, and I show you the work of Sebastian. And we can talk a bit about, and then you can stay a bit for the lesson. I prepared some stuff to watch, also something I think is related to you. I have many stuff here. So first of all, Andrea started practically, we can say, from zero.
Yes.
And so then I started to first push and kick him a bit, because he was always in this mood of I don't have a time, I cannot do it that, I cannot do, I didn't do it the picture, or finding excuses. So that one day I said to him, okay, you have 5 minutes, you have to do it 100 picture, or you don't come anymore to this class. And then he was around the house taking picture of everything, and they said to him, okay, you did 100 picture now in 5 minutes, so you can do it your picture, also 1 picture per day, but you can do it what I asked you to do it. So, and this was a selection to start on a project that has no name in this moment, has no no topic, we can say, but I think there is a unconscious strong feeling of talking about itself, so himself. So what I started to doing with them was asking to them to doing a picture of a self-portrait, picture of the place where they live, and picture of the food they eat every day. And it was really a challenge because they was not doing every day.
Yeah, it was.
This, for example, is one of the self-portrait. And yeah, for sure, you see a lot of images now. For now, is this, but we are going to continue this booklet of picture in process. And even this is a self-portrait. And what I wanted to do with them was to destructure totally the concept of what is, for example, a self-portrait, what is a house, what is food, and where else, and to search inside of something we usually don't think is related to us. So, and Sebastian, you want to share your screen? Then you can show something of the selection of the macro you did also, and the other.
Yeah, let me just think about where to. I don't have all of them in one folder. But where is the? Here.
Now the good stuff is coming.
So I had this folder where I just dumped everything. Oh, there are some new ones from this week. I forgot about it. In the beginning, I said I didn't take any, but I went out for street photography on the flea market and on 2 flea markets actually, but not very much. So you said macro?
Yeah. So with Sebastian is a bit more difficult because he has a different style and many different style and many different way to communicate. But what I started to realize was that he was so good in the macro photography. So then I started to suggest him to doing in a different way. So to try the skin, to try the fruit, to try the food, to try everything possible with the macro photography.
Yeah, this is the peach I did a couple of weeks ago, and then there's this in here, insects. This is other stuff already. This is more street. I don't know. It's all a big mess.
Anyway, I found the name of the insect you shoot, and you said it was so klein, so little.
Yeah, you found it?
Yeah, because during the podcast I was talking with this micro photographer. She told the name of this insect. I searched it on Google and I found it. It was the one you shooted.
Which one? Was it a spider or
Springtail.
springtail? Okay. What else? Here are some portraits.
I love this picture.
This is one of my favorite ones. This was just a,
This can be part of the Mars station, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
This is the people side.
Yeah.
so what else? Oh yeah, then I did this is also a bit of, this is old. This is 7 or 8 years old. This is macro. It's a small mushroom like this. But I used the light on the top to get all the colors out, like this blue and inside and stuff. Oh, this is so different again. This is on top of the Etna volcano. Well, this is one of the oldest photos I have. This was a friend on the lake. This might be 15 years old or something. This is taken with an infrared filter. This is also infrared.
I do love the infrared.
This too. This is also an old one. I think I have more of the infrared, but if I wouldn't have messed it all up.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. At some point, you know, here I started to sort by year, and then I sorted by topic. And
I mean, I do it archives by year, by months, and sometimes even by days. Depends. Depends. My picture, it's by everything by years, months, divided year, months, and topic. So I have a journal, model, and client I have somewhere else.
yeah, it's just a fucking mess. So, but this is all the exported pictures. This is not my actual folder that I'm working with. So, these are the ones I selected before for this, for whatever. These are just the exported JPEGs. Yeah, I don't know what to show, Emiliano. What did you want to see? Did you have some?
Just to share what you do also. Is this?
Okay. This is also macro of a Raspberry.
What the fuck?
I think he has to continue to put macro photography and explore the sense of macro, because I think there is a particular eyes about that.
This is really nice.
Shit, this is
That
so
was a
cool.
really nice image.
This is infrared.
It's always
Infrared fucking Bernardo.
So this is with a converted camera then, not with a filter.
Yeah, I put a filter on the front, but I took there is a filter in front of the sensor normally that blocks the infrared.
Yeah.
I took that out and replaced it by a piece of glass, so I can just shoot handheld. Was that
Yeah,
clear?
yeah. I watched a few things about how you do this, and then I didn't want to do it myself, so I got a guy in Latvia to build me one, and
yeah, I did it myself. In the end, it was quite easy. But yeah, if you mess up, your body's gone. So
yeah.
Big ball Sebastian. That's very cool.
This is a cool, really cool. This I never saw this picture.
this one?
Yeah.
Never saw it? Okay.
Also. Did you know anything about the what is the center of a child?
The what? Say again, please.
The place behind my house.
The kindergarten or that stuff.
Yeah. We wrote again, and I visit him again, but we didn't make an appointment now because the teacher I talked to, she quit.
Oh,
And yeah, they the other one, the next one, so the boss is taking over, and she's a bit she's a bit complicated, so she wants to meet me before and talk and blah blah. So yeah, we said we continue, but we didn't get any further so far.
okay. So what do you think about Jake?
I was just thinking, I love it when you're getting close to the subject.
Oh,
Yeah, the one just now with the rings, like
Yeah.
oh
That
yeah,
one?
it's cool.
Yeah.
You have a whole series like that. That's a series.
No,
it's a
I
cool
don't.
series. That one shot
That
is
one
like an
good.
inspiration for a series for sure. It's so strong.
Yeah, for this one I was lucky.
And the one with the guy was rolling a cigarette, it's like you're trying to do that. Yeah, the feet even counts as something like that. Like
Whoop, sorry.
you could
This
do
one.
like a whole
Yeah.
a whole you don't see this very often. Street photographers always too far away from their subject. You're not necessarily always too far away. There's also certain styles of street photography, and that's fine. But your coolest shots in street photography are these ones. It's just so cool. Like you have a book of close-up street portraits. Like it's amazing. Yeah, I love it.
Thanks. Yeah, sometimes I get, you see it in my in this folder. I just have too much different stuff.
Yeah, but the problem is not there is no problem to have different stuff. The point is just to in a way make order of what you have.
Yeah. Like what I was saying before, like create baskets.
Yeah.
You take you see something, you take the picture. That's the most important thing I learned. Like just take the picture. That is the most important thing, even if it's with your phone.
Right.
It took me years to get over that, and it's horrible, and I hate phone photos, but it's more important to get the picture in the end of the day. And when you take all these photos like this, like you have a lot of different stuff going on, architecture to macro to street photography, you should just put them all in a basket. What does this photo say? It goes here. What does this photo say? It goes here. And you will start to see what you're shooting. And you will understand why you're shooting it even more, and you'll go deeper and deeper, and you'll ask yourself internally, why do I do this?
Right. Yeah, sometimes I have had some similar ideas, like you said in the beginning, to create how did you call it? Not a parallel world, but an utopia or something. I was also quite inspired by David Lynch movies, and there are some pictures that this one I would probably put in, and I don't know, this one, and then I have certain ones that yeah, probably those ones.
Yeah,
they're a bit more abstracted stuff. But
yeah, this is nice. Yeah.
Oh, there's this one again. Yeah, it's a big mess.
Yeah, I think you should just for yourself make some folders, and then just try and put the pictures that go together.
Right, it's a good idea. Yeah, you can even put tags in the dark table. I use dark table.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to tell you how to organize your your computer, because I mean every photographer has a completely different way of organizing, and I actually do something similar to this, or like, yeah, I have a folder with a year, and then, oh, this location I went to, inside it, So I know, oh yeah, I went to this city in 2015 and I go to 2015 and I can find things. But yeah, I noticed with Weskerod that now this project is almost 2 years old. It's getting a little bit out of hand, and I need to start taking out not just what photos I like, but what each photo says, and then they can go together in their own archive. Otherwise it just gets messy. But you can keep your system. So like I keep the Weskerod on pretty much all in one folder, and it's film. So it's just the date that each film is processed in. But if I keep going like that, it's going to get really messy. So what I'm doing now is I'm creating another folder, and I'm just copying the folders in there. So I still have everything by date, but then I have folders. Do you see what I mean? So I have photos in 2 locations.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, normally I sort by, so this is not my how do you say? Yeah, these are all just exports. So my actual databases for big pictures is different. It's all sorted by date, by year and month. But yeah, as you said, it would definitely make sense to attach some kind of tags to the photos. Put them
anything. It really makes a difference to how you see your work.
Mm.
It's not just photos on a computer. It's really how you visualize all your work and what means what, and yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this is the sprint.
This is the thing you talked about. Yeah, this was maybe 2 millimeters long or something.
Yeah, this girl, this photographer, she said this insect is a really challenge for photography in macro, because it's the one of the most smallest insect in the world. And when I
it's also fucking ugly. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Poor thing.
Look at it.
Oh, I think it's cute, man. Come on.
Look at it. Yeah. Okay.
How small is it? What, like a millimeter or something?
Maybe 2 millimeters. I took one. I think I also took a picture with my phone.
Yeah, you shoot the picture.
Yeah, exactly.
But just to remember how small it is. But maybe I can pull it up.
How do you find it? Was it coincidence, or you
know what
I
do? I just take my bike, cycle into the forest, and then I just stop anywhere. The nice thing about macro is it's all there. You just need to stop and look. It's everywhere. So I just stopped somewhere because there was, I don't know, there was some, I can't bend over so much at the moment because I have back issues, and there was a tree and some ants, and the ants were on a tree, and I said, okay, I don't have to bend over for those ants. And then I photographed a couple of ants, and then I don't know, I just stepped over half a meter, and then there's other stuff on those. There it is. Yeah.
Oh
wow. Yeah. Photograph different stuff. But all those photos are taken within a radius of 2 meters, maybe.
Oh wow.
So stuff is everywhere, especially if you go into a forest. It's full of weird stuff.
I love this concept you have of photography, where you can take a step, and then there's a million possibilities from where you stand. It's a very different way of thinking than I have. Maybe I should think like that. I feel like I have to, before Corona, I felt like I had to travel a lot to get the shots that I wanted. And yeah, I guess that was a lesson learning from Corona, that you have to find it where you are. That's just the way life is.
Right. You can also sit in one place all the time. You get, if you're in a city, people walking past, there's different stuff happening. I know a guy he's making he made a project. He was photographing the same wall. Every day he went there and took shots of the same wall and stuff happening in front of the same wall. And I think he did this for a year.
Yeah, I saw one. I can't remember the guy's name. Something on Instagram I saw, but it was cool. Maybe you'll be able to find it actually. I think there are a few articles about it. And there was a guy that photographed a ping pong table, and he could see it from his apartment. And he photographed it like every day for a year. And there's people playing on it. There's people sitting on it. There's people having a picnic on it. You know, like it's amazing. Yeah. Sometimes you don't need to move at all, not even from your apartment, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of photographers. I saw a lot of book of photographers shoot it from the window, and every day there was something new. I mean, it's just I think photography, the real photography, start to be when we start to think about to select a picture, to give importance to something, and not to click a button, because this is something everyone can do it. But the real meaning, I think, is in the selection, to give value. So I want to show the other picture of Andrea, then you can also get the feedback. And find,
What, sorry?
okay, I show you the rest of your picture I have.
Ah, the one in the... Yeah, but after Sebastian is always a harsh comparison. Like,
Oh, come on.
it was about the self-portrait that...
Okay,
Yeah, but it was like, yeah,
this is my selection. For sure, you did a much more picture.
yep.
What do you think about Jake?
You can say everything. Don't worry about it. I mean,
No, I like your subjects to the backgrounds. That's really nice. You always have this like focus on a subject, and then you frame it. You frame every shot using a background, like not in the way that normal photographers do, but these little tiny things. Like, was it the little rose in there? Was really beautiful. I really like this. This was really nicely framed, I think, and it's weird. It's like, what is that? Is that supposed to be a flower pot? Is this just a metal thing on the wall?
It's really nice. I think it's also really particular, and it's something that not everyone would notice.
Yeah, it's like this little piece of reality in an urban.
That's
Like,
what
you
I
know, it's weird.
what I started to like a lot of him is how he started to create this self-portrait.
yeah, I mean, it was because it was hard. I mean, to do a lot of self-portrait every time, so you have to try different stuff.
Because I challenged him a lot, because I was asking to him, okay, try to find out another way, and it was every week a challenge. So now I show you a bit of what I prepared to show this week. Is quite a lot of stuff. What I wanted to talk about was to show you a bit of Todd Ido. I don't know if I showed you before, but also because in a way he has something also Jake has. Todd has a lot of stuff in the portfolio. We just come just a bit more in the way, like also to be a collector of photography can be a part of to be a photographer, because it's always the selection, the part that show that you are a photographer, not only the part where you click. This is nice because it's totally, completely different from the work you do it.
That's a great father.
The end. So the work of Todd is most based on landscape, interior, still life, and he did a really nice research of places. And the common things with Jake is that also here there are no people. But what I was talking recently with the photographer is really interesting is the people are always inside of the picture, because in a way or another the street, the houses, everything is made around from someone or from many. So the presence of human is there. I think it's really amazing the work of him, because it's really simple. Everyone could do it, but not everyone do it. These are a scene we see usually really often. If now, for example, in Berlin, as also in Netherlands, the night come more fast, and then people stay more at home, and the park have this light, sometimes, and it's really easy to go out, find no one in the street, take a picture like this.
Yeah. I mean, I think like for a picture like this, at least for me, most of the difficult part is like seeing a subject in it. I mean, if it pass in front of a house, if it doesn't have, for example, like some kind of peculiar light and shadow they can attract my interest in, I will probably not shoot it. I mean, it's just a house like every house, you know. So it's harder for me like to see something interesting in it, maybe.
Yeah, the point is here, I think it's he doesn't see the subject as what is represented in front of him, but more what he can create with this subject in front. So using the long exposure sometimes give you this kind of light, really sharp, really particular, really intensive. because even sometimes, you know, the secret is in many of these pictures, probably there is also someone is passing. But here, someone, you know, most of the time these pictures are made with really long exposure. We talk about sometimes 2-3 minutes of exposure made in film photography. Yeah, your friend Jake is there.
Ah, trolleys.
So to go next, I show you the interiors. Also, I think they are so cool. I think the power of these pictures is that you can imagine something. They connect you to something you don't know exists. Can be a house of everyone. You don't know anything about the subject. There are only sign of the time and the using of this house. And I don't remember who said that. Probably someone in the, probably something I read in an interview of someone else, that we don't think about the soul of a building. Building in differences of a human cannot move. It burn, so it burn somewhere and stay there forever, for until someone else put down or the time pass that to destroy everything. But you cannot choose. So the building cannot choose, the house cannot choose the owner, the house cannot choose how to be treated. The house cannot choose what kind of color has or not. This is a really interesting reflection, and now I remember who said that, and that's something I saved here. I will show you from Ishiuchi Miyako. That's a really, really, really interesting interview with Aperture here. Really long interview about all the work of Air. And a really nice part. I have read almost all. I think I lost just the last part because then they talk about Hiroshima, and then I jumped to another work is made in Chernobyl, and I went on and I watched also documentary about Hiroshima and Chernobyl, and I lost myself. But she started, and this is nice what she said in this interview. She said she started to doing photography in a moment she didn't want to doing the photographer, and probably she will never do it photographer because she doesn't love the photography as something absolutely in their life. But in a way or another, she's a photographer, and she's a photographer because of many reasons why many choice she did in her life just to capture what she had around and to make also decision, because sometimes you have to make decision about what you want to follow in your life to take these pictures, what you want to study, what you want to research in. And so then I jump back to Todd Ido, that I think is correlated also to this conversation you can read in Aperture. And here it's another thing, it's really interesting. And why I connect Todd Ido to Ishiuchi Miyake, it's because Todd Ido in a way research inside of the places where there is no one, but there was a passage of humans inside of these places or outside of these places. Ishiuchi do it another kind of work. In the moment that everyone was taking picture of Yokusuka, that is a district practically close to Hiroshima. Everyone was doing this research in a street that is called Obuita in Yokosuka, that every photographer, Araki, Deido Moriyama, and all the best one, actually, the oldest master photographer, there was every day on the same street. She started to think about more about what is internal, because in a way she was not from this place, but when she was 6 years old, her family moved there. So in a way she was not really attached to this place, I mean emotionally, but in other ways she was touched from the building that was around her, because she was just moving, because you know the most important part of our lives is become from our birth to our 6-7 years old, and what really in a way touch us, and what we remember as a house, as a home, is the first place where we are. And for that reason, she was able to research inside of a city and not in the street where there was the domination of American in that moment. And the particular work come out from this work on apartment that I think is really interesting, because you can see how the people was living in that period in Japan, and it was the domination after the atomic bomb from American, and how the American in a way define what we think is Japanese today, but it's not. And I think they have work really correlated, and I think Todd Dido in a way make research before to come up with this work, because what we can see from the work of him, it's probably the past work is more made of field and picture of women's, probably he was fucking with, and from that picture there is an evolution of what we have seen in interiors and the night picture of houses. Another things I want to show.
I just don't get it too much why all the portraits are out of focus.
Yeah, because
I mean, if you notice,
he was shooting with an Instamatic, and with the Instamatic you had not the focus.
okay.
It was just a point and shoot camera with the old film of Kodak, and Instamatic probably.
So it's not on purpose.
No, I think it's not on purpose.
Okay.
Well, I once heard a photographer say that you shouldn't focus where you should focus, but you should focus where the image looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think too many photographers get too worked up over the focus thing, and I think it's too much. Just you know, if you look in a fashion magazine, really 50% of those photos aren't in focus, or they're a bit blurry.
Yeah.
So don't get worked up on it. Some of the best images have grain the size of golf balls, and they have blurriness. So you know.
No, I agree. I was just curious why, because if you see it was just on the portrait mostly that it was out of focus, while all the other was in focus. So I was curious about this difference.
I think the purpose is in the selection, because probably he did not just one picture, and yeah, probably he did the picture during the wall fuck, and then he selected this picture, you know, to be part of the collection of Instamatic, of what he wanted to show, you know, on him website in this case. But probably if we go to watch some exhibition, there was much more picture. In the same way, when we go to watch the portrait collection, we can see that there is already an evolution. And the thing is, this evolution is, I want to just guess, but I want to go to check in the information, that probably he did, a school of fine art, yeah, and I think this is what structured him to then jump in this evolution. What I think is before was in this systematic period, and then from the systematic he started to think about, okay, I want to probably doing that, and he studied, and then there is this, you can see it's someone is formed from in a way or another a structured way of thinking photography, because here there is a lot of, for example, Nan Goldin, also school, this way to use the television inside of the picture is something is remarkable to Nan Goldin a lot, and also William Eggleston. But as I would say in Italian, il lupo perde il pelo ma non il vizio. That I don't know how to translate that, but to say that him addiction of taking picture of woman during the sex or naked in that particular context didn't change. To represent the woman as a sexual object in this case, because this is also the I think one of the topic. And that I think it's totally correlated to the work you do it then after with the landscape, interiors, and home at night, that there is this research of silence, because probably is also kind of man in a way that he feel himself when he's alone, you know. This is also correlated to some kind of situation that you was living in your past. When you start to decide to make a project, a long project, you have to feel yourself at home in a way, even if it's something cruel to yourself, because otherwise you will never go on for years. I think this is also a really interesting view of what is landscape. This is something we already talked about. How to compose a landscape? What is a landscape? What is a cityscape, for example? And I appreciate 1,000 more kind of landscape like this than this landscape we see today in a technical way, really perfect, really sharp, full of details. You know, there's too much details, and when there are too many details, it's difficult to read the images. It's difficult to read which person did or not. I mean, we remember the people did the picture of the desktop of Windows. No one, in the end.
Yeah, I always see it as breaking the rules of photography. That, like I was mentioning with the focus thing, that for a landscape photo, you can Google it and read as many websites or YouTube videos as you want, and they'll all tell you, yeah, you want to have it nice and sharp, and you want to do it in golden hour, you want to frame the image this way, blah 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 blah. But if everyone did that, we'd all be taking pictures for postcards. We've all been to a city and gone to the park, the tourist shop, and you see those postcards. Well, that's what you get when you follow every rule in photography. So if you want to take pictures like that, then you can.
Yeah.
If you want to take something more meaningful, you have to break the rules. Like this guy, I mean, they're not, they're blurry and yeah, whatever, but they're still beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. This work is really personal. It's really personal in a way, and I like this way to also to show the sharp, the unfocus, the blur. In a way, it's also you know, this desire to be closer to as a painter.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely look like a painting. Yeah, all of these are.
And I think this is it's just a research. He continued to take this picture through the window of the car during the raining. Is what I like a lot. It's this every of this picture is made through a window. And in a way, you know, this picture, for example, will be really nice in a book like On the Road, for example. And you have this collection, you know, it's even every 10 page. And you can imagine, you know, even some picture give to me the smell of the travel in a car. The smell, you know, of this air come inside of your car when you're going 100, 200 kilometer hours, and as not the same smell of the air we breathe every day.
Yeah, I don't think it's going 100 over 100 kilometers here. Otherwise, it will probably be dead in the kind of street.
So, and now I just jump to this other photographer that I want to show you also, Yoshinori Mitsutani. And yeah, as you know, I'm totally in the Japanese photographer, so I think they have totally another concept, and we can learn a lot from them. And yeah, you can understand by yourself that I chose this photographer because he also represents the nature in a totally different way from what we are used to see. Here there are a work of flesh and reflection and everything in the light and not in the night. This is also another nice way to use the flesh in the light. And I think it was raining here, probably. This now, for example, when you watch this picture, you could, I don't know, think about where he was taking this picture from. So he was laying probably on the grass, or he was acting to lay on the grass. No. Anyway, you can go to search by yourself. I will post all the list on the group, and I just want to show you these two photographers I talked with today. One is so these two women I talked today. One is this Paz Olivares. that she's really particular in the way she work. And what I like of her is she also is a really good curator. She's now collecting picture about paternity. So the topic is paternity. So
You can join.
yeah, I will join for sure. And she's usually doing I don't know how much often, but this open call on her profile on Instagram, where she look for some kind of pictures. The really interesting research, I think, is the one here that you can go to watch then. Is Casas de Abuelas, that means
Casa de la nonna.
yeah,
Yeah. House of your grandma.
Yeah.
House of the grandma, yeah.
And where she asked to many people to apply to this open call and to explain what is for them to represent the house of a grandmother. And there are more than 50 photographers that applied to this open call and showed them vision about. And it's a really nice collection.
A mi abuela le venían eructos repentinos y se quedaba mala. La curandera asimila y gestiona el dolor del paciente. No lo cura, se queda con su malestar. La oración y el secreto para curar te lo entregan a las 12 de la noche del 24 de diciembre debajo de un bejuco. A ella se lo entregó su madre. Claro, del malestar estomacal de los vecinos.
Al ver el material de casas de abuelas, me identifico en la mayoría de las atmósferas y en casi todos los testimonios. Debe haber algo que haga las abuelas universales, a la vez que radicalmente subjetivas. Un cuerpo envejecido que debería ser sinónimo de fragilidad, pero una abuela es todo lo contrario. Las abuelas curan golpes con hematomas inmensos, con aceites y mezclas de orígenes lejanos y difusos. Y alejadas de un heroísmo tonto, aguantan. Recuerdo que una vez mi abuela tenía un dolor de muelas. Agarró una pinza de punta amarilla, un repasador de flores y se fue al fondo. Regresó con la responsable del dolor en las manos. Una muela enorme era la comprobación de que el lugar común de la viejita tierna de seguro fue escrito por hombres sin abuelas.
No puedo ser objetivo con una persona que me esperó para morir. Mi familia flameaba como espigas en la vereda del sanatorio. El viento de agosto en Buenos Aires y la tristeza absoluta no son buena combinación. Uno se dobla hasta deshumanizarse por completo. Ya se habían despedido todos. Seguí las indicaciones de la más entera entre ellos, mi hermana, que me llevó hasta la puerta del shock room. En una camilla mi abuela estaba acostada. Tenía los ojos cerrados. Un cáncer implacable le había hecho pasar los peores meses de una vida de sacrificio feroz. Saludé a sus hermanas, mis tías, quienes me contaron que las enfermeras habían ido a buscar morfina. Aliviar el dolor era lo único que podían hacer. Ella movió la cabeza. Había reconocido mi voz entre el ruido insoportable de sus entrañas ardiendo.
Me entero que todas las mujeres nacen con todos los óvulos de su vida, o sea que, en algún momento previo al nacimiento de mi madre, una parte de lo que sería yo estuvo en su útero. Ahí puede haber una pista a lo universal de las abuelas. Fueron todo lo que nosotros fuimos y seremos. Una abuela no es solamente una señora incondicional, también es la niña que fue y que comprende tus pulsiones por trepar a un árbol, por comer cosas ricas y dulces, por ensuciarte. También es la mujer que deseó y que comprende tus pulsiones eróticas, aunque no hable de ellas. También es madre de alguien que se hizo madre y comprende tus miedos, y con una sonrisa trata de enmendar lo que hizo en el abismo que ahora se te abre, y lo logra.
A los pocos minutos las enfermeras inyectan la morfina y el espacio entre inhalación y exhalación se hace cada vez mayor, como si mi abuela se olvidara de respirar. Caer en la cuenta de ese cambio de ritmo me destruyó. Una voz aguda salió de mi boca. Era yo mismo llorando como un niño sin poder ahogar el ruido. Otra vez mi abuela reconoció mi llanto, el mismo que, anécdota familiar clásica, escuché del hospital donde nací y hacía callar a todo el mundo para escuchar. Una lágrima cayó del ojo izquierdo de mi abuela y el movimiento que la mantenía de este lado de la existencia frenó. Las enfermeras me sacaron y mi familia vio en eso la confirmación de que todo había terminado.
Ya pasaron 4 años de esa noche. De a poco el olor de sus sábanas desaparece de mi catálogo de olores. El gusto de la comida preparada por ella desaparece de mi paladar. Su voz, diciéndome negrito, es cada vez más difusa. Pero con casas de abuelas sucedió un cambio que me hizo menos pesada esa sensación de ¿por qué no pasé más tiempo con ella? Puedo ver en estas fotos que el pasado no está atrás y uno avanzando hacia la pérdida. El pasado, nuestro origen, su útero y su complicidad, su fuerza y su picardía, su forma particular de ternura están adelante. Son el suelo con el que, mal o bien, contamos para vivir eso que llamamos el resto de nuestras vidas.
So I showed you this project because I think another thing is really interesting, and we don't think about that. All of these interiors we can see in these pictures, it's something probably we will not have anymore in our life in the next 20 years. It's something we will lose completely because this generation of people they come from an accumulation of stuff from different times, and we are not used anymore to accumulate this stuff. So we use it from the mother of the mother of the mother, you know, from our ancient parents, and then our aesthetic also in the design of our house is everything more clean, more in a way neutral, we can say. We try to find the order most time, but what we can see in most of the houses of old people is this kind of order made with the cows, with the old stuff, collected stuff sometimes has no value, but has just emotional value. And I think it's I don't know if you have still someone is old in your life, but I think will be great if you keep an eye more on that and trying to collect something about that, because probably something will talk about you a lot in the next 10 years. Will be your identity.
Did your grandparents have a big cabinet in the living room which is full of plates, forks, knives, and shit like this?
I don't have any more grandparents, but I saw a lot of this. Yeah, my grandmother, one of my grandmother had this house full of these saints and Jesus Christ and everything like that, and this plate where you usually eat, there was on the wall as a paint, you know, and really full of stuff collected, all the new, there was everything inside, and you know, she was doing every day the bed of the son, that the son is actually 60 years old. 60, yeah, years old. It's practically she did the same bed of when he was child until probably 7-8 years ago, always in the same way with the same stuff she was using 60 years ago. So you can understand. No, she was using the stuff of the 70 in the 2000, and you know these images, I think it's something we are going to lose in a way, because who use anymore this old stuff, you know? We use anymore this old fork, this old plate, hold everything, even old TV. And I think, yeah, it's something we have to keep a bit of attention about, because it's something we will miss, and or even our children will miss one day, because they will never know about that. About, you know, the smell of the dish our grandparents was doing, how much importance has the food, or to be together, than to have material stuff, or to occupy our life of doing stuff.
One of the things I regret the most is that I never cooked with my grandmother, and she had just some dishes that were perfect, like, you know,
Yeah.
potatoes. They had something like not like crust, but they were just a bit more dense on the outside and salty, and I never know how she did it. Same with milk rice. It was a lake of butter on top with a bit of cinnamon.
Yeah. I mean, this stuff, it's yeah, something we cannot get back anymore, and this is why it's important, I think, in a way, to share that idea. To sometimes photography probably cannot reserve the taste, cannot reserve the smell of something, you know, cannot reserve the soul of something, but in a way reserve what are your emotion, your inner emotion, and they are able to, in a way, catch you from inside and say, oh, I watched this picture, and watching this picture I remember this, and this, I think, is the most amazing part, to touch not your heart but your mind. So last photographer, and then we have done for today, is one moment, I get back
And lay down for a minute.
yeah I know.
Don't worry, old man.
So the other photographer I want to show you is Jamie's Wick. That it's really interesting, because if you go to watch the profile on Instagram, you will never expect to see what you see in the website. So when you watch the Instagram, you watch thousands of Polaroids, and that's it. And it's a Polaroid, and they go on like this for pictures. But when you go on the website, first of all, yeah, for sure she has Polaroids. But then when you go in film, and today we was talking in the podcast about the home I don't live in, there is a kind of a series of collection of pictures. I think they are so interesting in a way, and so personal. And as I said to her today in the podcast, even the title is it's really touchable. And what I like of her work is she, in a way or another, is always watching through a window. It's like always this melancholy of not be owner of this life she's filming. And it's really unique, because it's difficult for me to see pictures in a way as a feeling like you are watching a movie, like you are watching inside of someone without watching inside of someone. I would say better, like watching really the memories of someone. So to go inside of the mind of someone and watching the frames. really, I think, interesting collection and work. And I show you that because I think this is also a really important information when you want to do it to the storyteller, in a way that you are able, in a way or another, to doing stories with what you already have in your archive. The only matter to compose something like that is to find the right note of your empathy to the picture. Today I posted, I made a post on my profile that is made from a comment. I commented someone was saying, doesn't matter how it's composed the picture, it's matter how much is beauty to get sold. And I said, okay, but what is the beauty? Probably we have to connect to photography not anymore with this aesthetic form, but more with the empathy, because what we are going to watch is something someone else watched before, and in a way or another decided that it was a value to frame that and to share with someone else, and giving to someone else opportunity to get in touch with a portion of the world that I choose to freeze in that moment. I think I like a lot how she composed the project. I mean, it's a good work made from herself. So made from a photographer of your own photography is a good work when you don't have a curator. Even this other work, it's no kori. That means the rest in Japanese. And I think that there is a kind of line is unbreakable in most of this picture. This is another really interesting project that I will share to you. Here is a list of stuff, and then yeah, you can go to watch also this Shimagatari. And it's a video of this photographer from Japan that he talk about this island that he documented for a long time, and it's really fucking strong project. So some reflections, some questions, some stuff we want to talk about. Give you this 10 minutes, and then I give it to you next task.
Task. Oof. I mean, I also have to say that the last work that you just showed Jimmy's week, in some of the portraits, I also see that they were also similar on the last other portrait was not Mizunati, the other one. And there was similarity on the portrait because they are not, as we said before, it was not this sharp portrait like or like postcard portrait. So they are definitely more like also the use of how they say the old grain feeling that is definitely bring you immediately to memory that is home, when you have this old grain picture stuff, this immediately lead to to home and to the landscape, we have also more power because it's immediately give you feelings about home than the other. So it was really cool.
Good. So to jump to the task, then you have time to watch the link I will send you of what we talked today. I would love to, if you can put a bit of what we have seen today on your work in the way you want. Let yourself be influenced from what you see. So collect and then just leave. What I mean when you go to take a picture, just keep in mind what you have seen, but don't go to check, don't go to control what others do it. Just let yourself be influenced in a way, digest, put away what you don't need and take what you need.
I didn't get it. I didn't get what you mean.
I mean, when you eat this, a apple, your body something take from this apple and the rest you shit.
Yeah.
It's the same with our mind. We take something from someone else, but we have just also to let it go. We have just to take unconsciously what we need, what is good for us. Because if we
from the work we have seen today, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And to Andrea to continue to exercise on this close up and unfocus. Then the next week we continue with the storytelling, with the picture you already made and you showed us today.
Hi.
And for Sebastian, that you are more time at home now, take more macro at home.
Yeah. Actually, it is better for me to move. So the problems with my back day, they come from sitting and standing, being in one place. So I better go outside the next days, take some more macros.
So let's do it like that. I just asked to Jake to give to you and Andrea one task to do it and see what he think is probably try to doing this week of photography. It's okay for you, Jake?
You want me to give them a task?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if Sebastian wants to go out, then I want to see a series just like those ring photos. I don't mind how many photos.
So you said ring photos?
No, not the rings, but the hands, the close up.
Okay,
moments.
this one. Yeah, okay. Right.
It could be anything, not necessarily hands. I love the hands, but the feet. What are the feet doing when someone's sitting at a bus stop? I don't know. There's 100 situations. I'm sure you can figure them out. But try and make a series, maybe of 5 or 6 images or something, whatever you can get hold of, and put them together, and then tell us why you picked each image and why they connect to each other.
Okay.
Because I think a great example already of what you did is the smoking, the guy rolling the cigarette, and then the guy with the rings. That's your beginning point. So I think you should take those 2 images and finish that project.
Okay.
For Andrea, what do we give it to Andrea?
To Andrea, for you, I loved the most from you, the photos from the subway. They were super beautiful. They were extremely successful. What could we do for you? I think with your photos, that's you take these amazing little moments and you really successfully pull them off when you see it. When you see it, you know when to take the photo. So for you, it's a little harder. I think for you, we need something that can focus your attention to a subject, maybe, I think. I don't know. I think go back to the subway, because you seem to be inspired there for some reason.
Sure.
But I also love these little self-portraits. So, you know, there is a great piece of humor in there. So I try and get that element of your self-portraits with people and the environment of that subway, because I think you and that light is amazing. But what do you think? We need something a bit more decisive, I think, for you. I don't want to just keep it too broad. We need like a task. Huh?
I think that this is okay. It's a good task. I mean, it's they know. I mean, they are used to get.
Yeah, I think you need to come up with a series of photos that can connect really well, and just pick one thing that you like in that subway and photograph it, because you go a little off subject, I think, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're experimenting, and that's great. You're taking lots of photos, and that's what you should be doing. But yeah, try to show us a series of something that really inspires you.
Thank you.
So that was for today. As you know, we will see the next Tuesday, because I jumped at the last one. And yeah, thank you a lot to Jake to be here. It was nice for me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
For
Thank
all
you
your
very
feedback
much.
and stuff.
No problem. No problem. You're always welcome to
You're
contact
welcome.
me or BerlinExplorer whenever you want.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Oh,
No
see you
problem.
guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.